This is an in-depth Peloton Bike Plus review, and in the next few minutes, I'm going to give you a full review of the new Peloton bike that was just released, and I'm going to show you how the new Apple Gym Kit Apple Watch integration feature works, and how the new Autofollow digital resistance feature works. And after exploring some of the less noticeable but significant changes to this bike that may have been overshadowed by the big new features, we'll finally take a closer look at the new, larger, rotating 24-inch screen. And be sure to stay till the end of this video because I'm going to show you one potentially dangerous design flaw of the new Peloton Bike Plus that could potentially cause significant damage to the rotating screen if you're not aware of this fact. At any point in this video as you're watching, feel free to leave a comment below about any specific feature and your thoughts about this new bike, and we'll get back to you. From a distance, the first thing you may notice about the brand new Peloton Bike Plus is the metallic lettering on the side, but obviously there's a lot more to this bike than just that. As you get closer to the bike, you'll probably notice the larger screen and the additional forward-facing speakers instead of just the speakers on the back side of the screen, and the handlebar grips are slightly different, and there's also new adjustment knobs for the seat and handlebars. And as you begin to take a closer look at the new bike, you'll discover the resistance knob on the Peloton Bike Plus looks a bit different and rotates much more easily. And as we dive into the software, you'll discover the Apple Gym Kit feature that allows your Apple Watch to sync up with the Peloton Bike Plus, and you'll learn the reason why the resistance knob turns so easily is because it's no longer a mechanical device and it's now digitally controlled, which enables a new feature called the Autofollow digital resistance. Other things you may notice about the Peloton Bike Plus is the saddle has a different seat adjustment mechanism that makes moving the seat much nicer, and the new camera has a physical switch that you can slide back and forth to cover the camera if you'd like to. So let's dive in and take a closer look at all of the features on the new Peloton Bike Plus and see if it's worth spending $2,495 on the new model, or if the standard model price, now priced at $1,895, is sufficient. And if you're finding this video informative, please click on the like button. I'd really appreciate it. So first, let's jump right into the good stuff and see how the Apple Gym Kit works, and then we'll take a closer look at the Autofollow digital resistance and the new bigger screen along with a bunch of other features on this bike. Let me show you exactly how the Apple Gym Kit Apple Watch integration works. The Apple Gym Kit feature on the Peloton Bike Plus allows for one-touch integration with the Peloton bike. But before the Apple Gym Kit feature will work in the first place, you'll first need to make sure the Detect Gym Equipment option is enabled in the settings of your phone. Then, when you pull up a ride and when you click on the Start button on the Peloton ride you're about to begin, you'll be prompted to hold your Apple Watch up by the Peloton logo near the camera to connect it to the bike. Again, you need to have this option enabled on your phone for it to work, so if the Apple Gym Kit isn't working for you, make sure you have the Detect Gym Equipment option enabled on your phone. Once the Apple Watch is linked up, your heart rate monitor on your Apple Watch will display your heart rate on the Peloton Bike Plus screen. And when you click on the Start Ride on the Peloton screen, the workout will simultaneously start on your watch as well. And in addition to tracking your heart rate, the Apple Gym Kit feature on the Peloton Bike Plus will also track other stats such as your mileage and your ride time. Then, after you complete your workout, the stats will appear on your Apple Health app on your phone. And if you don't have an Apple Watch and you want to get one, I put a link below this video in the description box to the latest model Apple Watch where you can select the color of the watch you want and then place your order. Okay, so let's take a closer look at the Autofollow digital resistance feature of the Peloton Bike Plus. For starters, the Peloton software interface has been updated to have a slider bar for resistance changes, and on the Peloton Bike Plus, there's a lock icon to the left of the slider bar which you can push to toggle the Autofollow digital resistance feature on or off as you see fit. While you're using the Autofollow feature, you can override the resistance that's called out by the instructor simply by turning the resistance knob in either direction. If you look closely at the Auto Lock feature, you'll notice the Auto Lock icon has a timer circling it, showing how long until the resistance is going to change to the next level. And again, you can toggle the Autofollow on or off at any time by simply tapping on the lock icon. Okay, before we talk about the new larger screen and its ability to rotate, and the one thing you need to be careful to avoid so you don't end up damaging your new screen, let's first take a look at some of the other less obvious but important features of the new Peloton Bike Plus that are potentially overshadowed by some of the more in-your-face features of this new bike. First, let's take a look at the new handlebars and seat adjustment knobs. The new Peloton Bike Plus has upgraded the original adjustment levers for the handlebars and the seat with these soft touch and easy to turn knobs to adjust the handlebars up and down, as well as adjusting the seat up and down. The saddle or seat can be moved forward and backwards on the new Peloton Bike Plus by using this quick release lever, which is different than the standard bike and many agree is a much welcomed improvement, especially for those of us who share the spin bike frequently. Unfortunately, the Peloton Bike Plus does not have an adjustment to allow the handlebars to move forwards or backwards, which is the same case for the standard Peloton bike. I should mention there is an aftermarket kit available for the standard Peloton bike to allow the handlebars to move forward and backwards, and I suspect in the near future a company may come out with a similar kit for this bike. If something does become available, I'll be sure to add that link in the description box below this video, so you can take a look if you're watching this video long after it's been published and it might already be available. So how do you feel about the new adjustment knobs and the quick release lever to adjust the saddle? How do you feel about the new handlebars not being able to adjust forwards and backwards? I'd love to hear from you, so leave a comment in the comment section below this video and I'll get back to you. So another minor detail is there is a new power adapter for the Peloton Bike Plus, and the connection on the back has a smaller and more sleek appearance. Additionally, the wires and cords on the Peloton Bike Plus have been cleaned up and hidden away inside the frame of the bike, making for a more aesthetic look. Also, the new screen doesn't have a physical Ethernet port, but if you really need the physical wire connection for your Peloton Bike Plus, you can simply use a USB-C to Ethernet adapter. I put a link to the adapter you would need in the description box below this video in case you need it. I should also point out that the new Peloton Bike Plus uses a USB-C connection instead of the micro USB port that is on the standard Peloton bike. And another minor detail is the footprint of the bike is 2 feet by 4 feet. We're about to take a closer look at the new 24-inch rotating screen in just a moment, and I'm going to show you the one thing you need to be cautious about so you don't accidentally damage your new screen. But if you decide you want to either upgrade your current Peloton or if you'd like to buy a new Peloton Bike Plus or the standard model, you can check the info in the description box to place your order with the same guys in this video that showed us around the new bike and its features, and they gave us all the information here we needed to create this Peloton Bike Plus review. So if you're finding this video helpful, I'm sure they'd appreciate you giving them a call. Also, you can click the like button on this video if you find this information helpful. And since we just placed our order for our new Peloton Bike Plus, we're new members to the Peloton family and we have a referral code that we can share with up to 12 friends. So if you decide to place an order and you want a referral code to get $100 off of accessories such as clip-in shoes or weights, you can use our referral code that I put in the description box below this video. Okay, so obviously the new larger and rotating screen is a huge change and has been the spotlight for the Peloton Bike Plus, and is probably one of the most interesting things on the new bike. The new screen can rotate a full 360 degrees and it can also tilt up and down as well. One thing the screen cannot do is rotate past the 180 degree position, which is probably to prevent the cables from getting twisted up inside the frame of the bike. So in order to get a full 360 degrees of rotation, you need to turn around at the halfway point and go back the opposite direction, which isn't a big deal at all. But there is a little problem with the screen I'll show you in just a moment. And the screen can be angled up about this much, and it can be angled down about this much. So it does have the ability to point up towards the ceiling quite a bit more than it can point down towards the floor, which probably isn't that big of a deal. The ability of the new screen to rotate essentially all the way around and point in any direction on a 360 degree plane makes it usable for weight training workouts and other off-bike workouts, which is a big deal because the new boot camp classes that involve strength training off the bike are coming out soon, which the improved audio system will be really nice for as well. The new sound system has front-facing speakers as well as rear-facing speakers with a built-in subwoofer, and the sound improvement over the standard bike is substantial. Since the speakers face forwards, the audio is much more clear and in your face, and the improved speakers also make for a much higher quality audio overall. Okay, so let me show you the problem with the new screen on the Peloton Bike Plus. It's important to note that there's a fairly tight clearance between the screen and the handlebars, and the screen does need to be tilted at a certain angle in order to clear the handlebars when you're rotating it. This isn't that big of a deal, but you should definitely keep this in mind before you abruptly or forcefully turn the screen to the side. If you're not careful, you could potentially slam your expensive new screen into the handlebars and potentially damage the screen as you rush off your bike and into a boot camp workout. But as long as you're mindful of the clearance and the angle of the screen before you rotate it, you should be good to go. But just be aware that it is possible to hit the rotating monitor on the handlebars of the Peloton Bike Plus because the clearance is tight, and if the screen isn't positioned correctly at the proper angle, it could hit the handlebars. How do you feel about this handlebar clearance quirk? Leave a comment below with your thoughts on the new Peloton Bike Plus and click the like button if you enjoyed this video. And if you don't have an Apple Watch and you want to get one, I put a link below this video in the description box to the latest model Apple Watch where you can select the color of the watch you want and then place your order. And I'll see you in my next video.